to the Coming Up With Your Health Score workshop, part of the 5-minute Back to Life workshop series, which you can always go to www.backtolifechiropracticky.com, and then you can see the Back to Life 5-minute videos and all the links where they go to, the YouTube and everywhere. And then also it has the Back to Life system, which you can download every single form that we talk about on this video. So we're continuing on from, I think it's been a while back since we did this one, but this is where we were ending up last time. So let's get our timer going and let's go. So remember, preventable illness makes up 70% of the burden of illness. So that's the associated expenses and the associated expenses. So, and I've heard this and I've seen this research again and again. So that means 70% of all your problems and burdens of illnesses and what's going on with you is preventable, and maybe 30% is genetics. So that's actually a good thing. If you're trying to get well or stay well, is that you can prevent a lot of things by just making the right decisions, and that's what the whole Back to Life system is all about. So before you do anything with the Back to Life, like working out or anything, it's always good to get the physical wellness assessment data sheet filled out. So we always can do this at Back to Life Chiropractic, or you can take it to your MD or your healthcare provider who can do that, who's licensed to do that. But it's good to know if you're ready to do all these things. So this is the health score sheet right here. So it's based on the 7 wellness categories that we came up with: nutritional, cardiovascular, flexibility, strength, posture, nervous system, feet and arches. And then these are all the tests that you can do. You don't have to do every single test. The more you do, the better score you're going to get. But what you're going to do is, you're going to do. And so we're going to go through each one. But as you do your test, the individual ones, you fill them out, and then you can just put your scores here. Then the ones you do, you can figure out where you are on this little scale here. So it's nice because you're going to go through each. You can use individual sheets, fill out, and do as many as you can. And then some of them, I think the newer version has gray ones that you can do at home. Some you need to have done somewhere else. But on each area where you can actually do without having to see a doctor or anything, so you can come up with a score. So the more you do, the better off you are. And then we have some high-tech things, some lower-tech things. So hopefully somewhere in there you can get your score and start working on the checklist, which is another workshop. Then you work on your checklist to start improving your scores. But then you can always see the things you're doing are working by always looking at your scores. And then you can always add other scores here too. Feel free to add other tests to the score sheet, come up with your individual scores. If you had blood test done or bone scan or whatever, you can always throw it in here, try to get in your category. You can always ask your MD or your other healthcare provider where that, is that more prevention, average, or sickness. So you can always contact us. We can help you figure that out. So the first thing we're going to go through is nutritional. So the tests that we use are BMI, BM, the nutritional outcome assessment test, or balancing biochemistry, the Nutritech, pH, and Zyto. These are all things that we like to use. And if you can get all these into wellness, then you're going to be doing pretty darn well, and you'll be out of crisis. So we're going to go through each one individually. So when you go to Back to Life system, you're going to download these forms, and then you just they're pretty no-brainer. You just got to do what they say, and fill out this little area to figure out if you're wellness, average, or sickness, and then you do it here. Put your score here, but then you can put it on the master score sheet that we just showed. And then we use it to tell you when you should get checked again. So the BMI, so when you do your BMI, there's actually a BMI calculator on the Back to Life system for the nutritional. What you do is put your height and weight in there, and then you're going to come up with your score. And then, so wherever you are, it will show you if you're in sickness, average, or prevention. So there you go. But it's real easy. Just height, weight, find a BMI calculator. If you can't find a BMI calculator, and then you have to fill out all that. You can do all this information, but we actually do have a BMI calculator on Back to Life system in the nutritional wellness category. So the next is BM, so bowel movements. So many people believe that the definition of a normal bowel movement is having one movement each day. That's not true for everyone. There's no rule for frequency of bowel movements, but the general range is 3 times a day to 3 times a week. We would like to have 1 to 2 to 3 every day. Less than 3 movements of a week may indicate constipation. More than 3 watery stools a day could indicate diarrhea. If you're getting any explosive diarrhea or water, then you probably may have lactose intolerance. So a bowel movement should be soft and easy to pass. It should be easy to pass through. Some people may have harder or softer stools than others. So it should be brown or golden brown, texture similar to peanut butter, and have a size and shape similar to sausage. But this is, you just got to know what your bowel movement is and then write down how many you're getting, what type it is. And then if your BM is absent, loose, watery, or abnormal, score yourself 1. Normal, but every day your score is 2. And then, if you're getting normal 1 to 3 times a day, give yourself a 3. So, but this is really important for nutrition, is your bowel movement. So it's an easy way to score yourself. Whenever you score yourself, then take that and then go back to this score sheet and put it back in there. So, and then that was 5 minutes already. So we'll see you. There'll be a couple more times before we do the health core workshop again. But keep up with and motivated by staying on track with the 5 Minute Back to Life series.